All right. Hey, good morning. Good morning. All right. This is our market prep for January 28th. All right. Just to recap our video from yesterday, we talked about how the market was looking a little weak yesterday. And one of the stocks that we pointed out that was profitable was AMD. As mentioned on yesterday's video, AMD had resistance at around this level here. Scroll over here. We saw AMD having resistance around the 118, 119 level. We talked about it coming right back down to 114 was our targeted yesterday. And that's exactly what happened. We're looking at a full hour here. Let's break that down to an hour chart so we can see how that played out. Yeah, so we saw the resistance, the trend line right here. Even if AMD went up a little bit, we felt like it was going to be weak throughout the day. And that's exactly what occurred with AMD. Let's break it down to an even shorter time frame on a 15-minute, and we'll see exactly what we saw. So we saw this level of resistance, and then we just waited, and it fell. And that fell in parallel with NVIDIA. So yesterday, the semiconductor sector was down due to the news from China about AI, and we just follow the news on that and let the technicals do what the technicals do. So let's talk about where we are moving into Tuesday's trade. Let's go to the ES. Start with how the market's looking. All right, we're going to bring that back out to, let's look at that at the 4 hour, see how ES has been performing after market. All right, so ES, as stated yesterday, would probably fall back down to the 60-40 range. I think that's what we called around here. And that's what ES did. So on the 4 hour, it got resistance down here at 60.10. And we have a pretty, support. And then we have resistance right here around 60.69. So what we can expect is we really can't go long in ES until it breaks 60.69. So this would probably be the same thing for SPY as well. Couldn't go long. So, we still got a few hours until the morning, 9:30 opening. So, things could change. What you would be looking for is the ES maybe drop back down here at around 6:15, 6:12. And then if it gets a good bounce and a thrust through, maybe it's up for consideration. Let's get down closer to our hourly chart for intraday trading. Yeah, it just seems to be a lot of resistance here. And then even then, that is around a 40-point move to another good part of resistance. So it'd be going against the moving averages. Just chop and stay away from it. But let's see what SPY says as far as the charts. Yeah, SPY on the hour looks almost exactly the same. What I would really be hoping for and waiting for is for SPY to come down. It's kind of what I was looking for today, but SPY never really came down that good. It stayed chop and then eventually had a little run to the upside near close. So, but back against the resistance level. So that's what we're expecting again. And maybe a little bit more challenge here. What we got, $5.99. Max is $5. But if it drops, we can almost have an $8 to $9 or $10 move. So SPY will be watching, still be patient because we know the big news comes on Wednesday when Chairman Powell speaks and the FOMC news comes out. And then we have the tech sector and then Tesla going on Thursday. So that's when we really expect the market to move. Until then, SPY and QQQ are always things I'm going to watch, but I will be patient until Wednesday. QQQ about the same, looking very similar to SPY. It's below the moving averages on the 1 hour time frame. It do have a squeeze, so you never know what happened. Actually, QQQ looks a little bit better than SPY. It has a potential for almost an $8 to $10 move to the upside, but it has a lot of resistance to go through. So on double checking in the morning, again, I would not be mad if the Qs fail. That means that the Qs fail. That means something in the XLK and the overall tech sector is dragging the market down. And yeah, XLK looking really weak um, overnight. So has a good resistance. It never really broke through that resistance earlier. Again, it had a little upside in the early morning trading, but eventually came down. And you can probably give a lot of that to NVIDIA and the semiconductor market. So yeah, let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA dropped really good, dramatic um, from yesterday, 143 all the way down to 119, 118. It's about a $24 drop. That's very significant, and that's why the market probably sputtered throughout the day. All right, looking at it on an hourly time frame, NVIDIA has some work to do to get back to the upside, 121, 126, before it even becomes a play I would think about getting into on the long side. Um, Probably be looking to short. AMD, same thing. The good thing about the semiconductor space, we're always looking for confluence with AMD, NVIDIA, and ARM. Those three kind of move in sync, especially AMD and NVIDIA. So it's a good way to get confirmation when you're watching both stocks and see if they're going to move. AMD is looking bearish. It has some resistance at 116, then 120. Things would have to really, really be looking great. This MACD would have to be crossing the zero line for me to get into this $4 move here. Uh, but this is a stock that could sputter throughout the day, give you the W shape up and down. And then maybe today, late today or Tuesday, or maybe early Wednesday, it break through and go back to the upside of 130. Something you'll watch, but again, this is a stock to be patient with. All right, so we took a look at NVIDIA and AMD. Those were the plays on Monday. Onto the downside, let's talk about what's on the agenda for Tuesday. So Tuesday, besides watching the stocks previously mentioned, I'm going to look at Boeing. Boeing has earnings. Um, if you look at Boeing over the past week, Boeing has been going to the upside every day. Every day. You could have just been catching Boeing in the morning and being seriously profitable. But it has earnings. And so with that being said, Boeing can go both ways. It's actually sitting right here in the middle, not too bad. It does have a strong level of support at 174, which is not a bad thing. That means I wouldn't get into Boeing unless it goes past 173. I get that confirmation, I'm running into the downside. Otherwise, we'll watch Boeing. It might have a morning dip on the news. If it sells at 174 and shoot back up, I'm going to catch Boeing on the way up. So Boeing is one of the number one stocks I'll be watching tomorrow, and their option contracts are not, it's pretty reasonable, somewhere between $2 to $3 per contract. So I would definitely be watching Boeing. Let's talk about a couple of other stocks that's been superly bullish. Visa, take a look at Visa is a beast. Um, Straight, if you I got a long call on Visa, you are in the green, very profitable. We'll be looking to see if we can get a continuation on that. Even if it drops, we may buy the contract and push Visa on up. Let's take a look at it on a higher time frame. Visa's been on a total breakout, and it broke over this level 323 last week, and we got a continuation going into this week. Have another level at 334. It's settling in. I'll be watching and see if it pulls back and we can break through. I'll definitely be in Visa. The other stock, same sector, again, confluence. Confluence is a key word for today. It's Mastercard. Look at Mastercard. Mastercard dropped its dividends, had a couple of days of weakness, and then it's been on an uptrend ever since. Broke through this level of resistance, 542, today, and a big move up. We're talking about from 536 overnight all the way to almost 550, a $14 move. So we'll be watching this. Again, these stocks will probably pull back sometime this week. If they break this 540 level, I will take the short. But otherwise, I'll be looking for the bounce maybe a slight pullback, and then a bounce through this 549, 550, and I'm going to take it to the upside. Visa and Mastercard confluent. So you can watch AMD and NVIDIA, you can watch Mastercard and Visa, and you can watch Boeing tomorrow. And based on the confluence of the two sectors, financials, XLF, and the semiconductor sector, you should be able to make some wise decisions on some good plays. Boeing is the earnings play for tomorrow. Don't forget, keep you some cash on hand so you can get in on Wednesday or on Thursday when we have the FOMC announcement, as well as we have the Tesla earnings, which is going to really push the market one way or the other. All right. Until the next video, I'll catch you later. If you found this information helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. All right. Be blessed.